My question is to the Premier. Tomorrow, when your government marks 10 years in office, Ontario taxpayers, you may want to stop the clapping, because Ontario ratepayers and taxpayers are going to be lamenting the high and skyrocketing costs of hydro in this province. So when you release later this fall your new long-term energy plan for the province, you're going to have to make up for the enormous amount of credibility that you've lost, particularly with the Green Energy Act, and of course now with both of these cancelled power plants that the Auditor General will report on later. So the question that I have for you is a simple one, Premier, and it's one I expect a direct response on. Before the new long-term energy plan is tabled, will you assure us in this Assembly that you will do a cost calculation of what those cancelled gas plants have cost, as well as the Green Energy Act have cost Ontario taxpayers on their hydro bill per month for the last 10 years?
Be seated, please. Be seated, please. Thank you. Premier.
Mr. Speaker, you know, I remember, and I think everyone here will remember in 2002-2003 when we were campaigning, we didn't know when the election was going to be called. It was on again, off again. But I remember how unstable the electricity system was, Mr. Speaker. I remember the brownouts. I remember the blackouts. I remember, Mr. Speaker, that when we came into office,
Order. Order. The member from Renfrew-Nipissing Pembroke will come to order, as will everyone in the House. Minister, you always find that perfect moment, so I will give you the attention you're asking. The minister responsible for seniors will come to order. Finish, please.
Very much, Mr. Speaker. Well, the party opposite howls, but, Mr. Speaker, we have rebuilt over 80% of our electricity system because it was in disarray. So we have a stable supply, Mr. Speaker. We've jump-started a green energy industry, Mr. Speaker. They'd like to slash that. They'd like to kill those jobs, Mr. Speaker.
I shall give those people that want attention the attention. The member from Renfrew-Nipissing Pembroke is warned. Wrap up, please. Supplementary.
Much, Premier. I'd like to welcome the Premier to 2013. Her government's been in power for a decade, and hydro rates have tripled on their watch because on their long-term energy planning, they've either ignored it completely by saying they're going to build power plants and then cancelling, or coming to this very chamber and promising 50,000 jobs for a green energy plan that has cost Ontario taxpayers and rural communities a lot of money. This government has a lot to answer for, and before they bring forward that next long-term energy plan before the Assembly and before the people of Ontario, I have asked her directly, and I will do it one more time, will she go to the people of this province and tell them exactly how much that Green Energy Act has cost them on their power bill, and will she tell them how much those two cancelled gas plants will cost them on their hydro bill, and will she do it immediately?
Be seated, please. Be seated, please. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. So,
excuse me. As I begin to sit down and people begin to ramp it back up again, both sides are making comments before I even sit down. Premier.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. So I think the member opposite knows full well that the issues around the cost of the gas plant, we've had a report from the Auditor General in Mississauga, the report on Oakville is coming forward, and we will continue to have that discussion. But, Mr. Speaker, I think that the member opposite should remember that if we talk about going to the people of Ontario and talking about what's actually happening, when the PCs capped energy prices in 2002, Mr. Speaker, it caused energy prices to spike 30% in 30 weeks, Mr. Speaker, and that created a $7 billion stranded debt, Mr. Speaker. So when you talk about being honest with the people of Ontario and talking about what costs really are, that's what we're doing, Mr. Speaker. That is not what the party opposite has done. And on the long-term
while someone's giving an answer, if that happens, that's their time. And then when that time is up, you don't get any more time. Your time is up. The member from Hamilton East Stony Creek. New question.
Thank you, Speaker. My question's to the Premier. Speaker, yesterday the Premier reacted with apparent shock to news about the Pan Am Games' outrageous expenses. But in an interview